Hello, in this video I'm going to go over how to make this kind of thing, and we're modeling from an image plane. So whenever you're modeling, there's sometimes your parts of your model are getting in your way in your other parts. So what we can do is you can hide them by hitting Control H, or you can create under the channel box, click on the plus here, and then right click over and say add selected, and we'll just name this something like stuff L, just so that I can change the visibility of it. I can make it a template view, so it kind of makes it so I can't select it, and R also is viewable but not selectable, so this makes it a little easier to work around. So now I am going to start on this weird pedestal thing. So the plan with this one is I'm going to work really rough with this, and then I'm going to make this into like a stone kind of ancient looking thing, and so we'll do a lot of the work in ZBrush, but I kind of want to block it out first in here. So I'm just going to go over to create, and I'm going to start with a cylinder, and then I'm going to go to my perspective camera and bring this up. I'm going to shorten it down. It's nice and thinner. I'm going to put this at the base, something like this. And remember, snapping, V and middle mouse will snap it on a vert. So I'm just trying to get it directly on top. And then in here under inputs, remember we can change the subdivisions here. So I might change this to go down to get close to this, like, I don't know if it's like a octagon or something. If I look at the render camera now, and I'm going to turn off my other pieces so I can see what's going on, and hit 4 now. So now I'm going to move this back, something like this, scale it down, rotate it. So I'm thinking this is like more than, let's try 8. So basically you're just going back and forth, and it looks a little bit elongated. I'm going to do something like this, and then widen out the sides. So I'm going to select that side and that side and widen it out like that. And now I have this shape. It's pretty close. And if you got to make sure, I wonder if I didn't do this right. When you're doing this scaling and you want them to be exactly going from left to right, you need to make sure that if you go into scale tool that it's on object mode. If it's not looking exactly right, so I'm going to go to my perspective camera and seeing how this is going to scale out. I can do it like this. Select both of these, scale it that way. Like this and this. It's pretty consistent size-wise. Now I'm going to go to, that went too far. So let me go back here, and if you, sometimes it helps to have your image here and then change this to a perspective camera so you can look at both. So it looks like something like that, and that's looking better. So I think this thing has like a cavity in the middle, so I'm gonna select this middle vert and hit Control F11 to get the center of it, or get this all the geometry, convert it. and then I'm gonna extrude the faces and scale it from the center like this. Look at it from this angle. Scale, 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 like this. There we go. And that's looking all right. And hit G again and scale down. There we go. And now I'm going to go over and do the same thing for the bottom because I don't like how big this face is. So I'm going to select that, hit Control F11, extrude the face, scale down, like this. Then I can always add more geometry in here like this. But the idea is that we'll kind of bring all this into ZBrush anyway, so, and melt all the pieces together. And let's go back to render camera. So now the next part is getting these pieces in here, and I'm just going to create a polygon cube, and I'll bring it in here, rotate it, and I'm not extruding because I'm trying to keep it simple. That might it might be more simpler for you to extrude, but I'm gonna try out this method. I'm gonna do it as pieces and then connect them. So I like that there's a little lip here, so I'm gonna change that in the design, and I want to set this to object, so the rotation and everything kind of makes sense. So something like this, and then I'm going to duplicate this, move it to the back, maybe scale it out wider in the back so it feels a bit more different. Okay, something like that might be fine. And then I am going to select this piece, duplicate that, move it over here. So I'm looking at both screens. So if you're wondering how I'm placing these, I'm moving it and then looking over here. And now I'm going to select all these on the top, move it up like this, extrude it, move it up, like that, like that. I'm just kind of blocking it out. Something like this. So that's fine, and I am going to basically duplicate this, and I'm gonna go up to, I would just put it on -y, but there's a lot of different parameters with complicated numbers, so I usually just freeze the transformations, and then go up here and make sure, oh, that won't work because we're not exactly on X, Y, and Z, so I'm going to undo that, and I guess I will have to do negative, flip it like that, because it kind of resets your object transforms. Okay, so I'm going to just move this over this way more, and I might need to adjust my base now because it's not quite going the way I want it to. So maybe if I move that there, maybe that's probably the problem of this design. I might switch it back and keep it to its symmetrical in here. So I didn't do this perfectly, obviously. All right, I might switch this being back so it's a little more centered. Okay, so that's good. And then I think I'm gonna make this a little bit sloped. Look at that. Make it a little more interesting. And then I am gonna select all these pieces because I want them to be kind of sharp in ZBrush, and I'm just gonna do a bevel, a real quick bevel on them. Select all the edges. See, F11, F9, oh, 10. So if you select everything and hit F10, then you should be able to select all the edges. Then go to your marking menu, shift right click and go to bevel. And I'm just gonna bevel this 0.1, 2. I only did it for one of them, unfortunately. So I might undo that. Select all the edges. Go to your marking menu and go to the bevel options and set this to be a little bit better so it applies the good settings. I'll try 3. And now if I hit 3 on it, it kind of retains its shape. So when I subdivide it in ZBrush, it won't kind of go small. So I think that looks good. So the next thing is I'll probably go on to the next video. All right, bye.